Okay, and I'm recording. So I'm not leaving work anytime soon, so I'm gonna have to do this down here in the print shop. This is the zine I ordered a few weeks back. I wanted to take a look at how it actually looked on paper, and I also was continuing to play with the sequences just a little bit, and I'm glad I did. I think the final PDF. See how well we can see all that. The final PDF is actually less photos than I used for either one of these. And there was still some, like, touch that up, that's way too cool. That's not how it actually looked. Yeah, definitely still playing with the sequences back then. This looks a whole lot better now that I warmed it up a little bit. You can still see there's a lot of warmth in the reflections. And there's some warmth in the highlights there in the background. The cafe, I love this cafe. Kind of a light blue, not quite an orange and teal, but orange and light blue. And so this was kind of a dry run. I wanted to see how it looked on paper, but then again, for the actual book that I ordered, I wanted it to be landscape. Here we go, and this was omitted. I did want to show some of the roughness and the processing that I did, just because it was E6 at home is really kind of a pain in the ass, not gonna lie. But it can be very, very pretty. I mean, the oranges especially. I mean, the Kodak orange is just, it's gorgeous. Used, and it's worn out, I like that. And you really, really look close, let's see if we can see it. You can see some of the imperfections in the processing. And I do think that was kind of indicative of the subject matter. That's why I rolled with it. My caddy right here. I love this caddy. But this is a really, really excellent exposure. I'm pretty proud of this one. Because as you probably know, when you're shooting slide film, direct sunlight will just blow it out of the water. But I was probably a little bit more than 90 degrees from sunlight. And just kind of nailed it. You can still see the other old Cadillacs there. And reflections were definitely, reflections and windows, you'll see that's kind of part of the theme here. Part of the theme of a generation or multiple generations just kind of up and leaving middle America. And so it's kind of still, yeah, I'm pretty proud of this one, I'm not gonna lie. There's really, really nice oranges and warm colors. Had to get rid of the cast on this guy because scanning really is kind of tricky, it really is. It's a newer scanner for me. I'm still getting used to it. I'm still getting used to processing as well. I don't just want the lab to do everything for me. This came out way too dark. I was really upset by this because I wanted you to be able to see the blue fishnet and the place that's the Worms bait shop that's, yeah, nobody hanging out. And also, I felt like there was, maybe I moved this or cropped this differently in the final, but you can see the gravel in there. It gives it a lot of texture. I think texture is actually pretty important. I feel like texture gets slept on a lot. Yeah, I feel like we kind of ignore our sense of texture a lot of the times when we're talking about photography. I omitted this one. It's a little bit urban for the whole theme. Some real nice golden sunshine right there falling on an empty house. And I think somebody already noticed the connection here. Sutton sudden. They don't want everybody's business, just yours, but that is not happening. Again, these just beautiful oranges and yellows. Of course, this wasn't all done recently. I did take some of these early this year. You can see the bare trees. Super soft focus. I think some of this was on a cheapo little Olympus something, the Trip 35. And so you definitely notice that Olympus glow that all their lenses put on the highlights, which is actually okay. It looks okay. It almost looks like I was using a mist filter, but I was not. And this is the correct version of this photo, and I am pretty proud of this one. Uptown, neon, and the in is out. Beautiful. And now we're going to start to see the themes of trailers and movement. I omitted this one as it was too urban. And one of the great, here's some more trailers. He's talking to him, a salesman making a pitch about buying a little travel trailer. And one of the things I love about Slide, I can still see definition in every piece of bark. I can still see the wood grain on the trailer underneath the shadow, and I don't ever really see that in color negative film. And that's something I really liked about Slide. But yeah, that looks pretty bad, honestly. Seeing it in print for the second time, it still looks bad. But this is one of the towns where I took a lot of photos. You can actually recognize that Uptown sign right there. Exit. And you can actually see it was painted over something. I'm really drawn to that, and you can see that there were a new phone number put on an old phone number. And this was a grocery store, the one grocery store in town. These are all towns that are kind of built around utility, and now there is no utility to be had. And again, a big trailer right out front. I had this one printed bleed. It's the Church of Christ sign with the hours of services cutting off. And this is the one church in that town. And kind of a childhood, not really childhood, but kind of like a sense of play, contrasting with the cemetery here. Bluffton store, I got two angles of it. I don't know why. I like the deadpan kind of, the rural deadpan kind of thing going on here. But after I fixed this and got all the magenta out of it, I was just like, wow, I have two angles of it. Wow. Probably could have just gone with this one. And then again, here's that cafe. I love how it's like it's literally up a hill, and it's got these steps like this on the roof. Beautiful cafe. I omitted this. If you're not a fisherman, you probably have no idea what the hell is going on here. I should have put these in two separate places. I didn't really give viewers enough credit. This is a reflection of this. And final page, and it's pronounced Tau Cemetery. Again, texture. I think it's important to know how that gravel feels underneath your feet. So, yep, in my cover. Decided to call it Town and Country. Alrighty.